Next up is Ken Parker. Ken has been with the Georgia Forestry Commission for 27 years. Most of that time was spent in the Piedmont region of the state as a ranger. He has been the wildland fire specialist for GFC for the past 5 years. We'll let Ken explain about a burn plan. Tell us all about it, Ken.
All right, I'm just going to look at kind of the basics of a plan and talk about why we should be doing plans. And first off, what does it take to burn in the state of Georgia? Code section 12690 says a permit's required for burning woods. Nowhere in the law does it say you have to have a burn plan, so why? Presenter later on is going to talk about the legal side of it, so I'm just going to kind of leave that there and let them talk about the legal side of it. But do know that in the state of Georgia, a permit is all that's needed. So we're going to look at a burn plan and talk a little bit about why. So first off, what is a plan? It's an orderly step-by-step. I mean, it's a process. What are you going to do that day to achieve your objectives? It's a course of action. And, to have a good plan, you have to know what's on the property. You have to have a good knowledge of what's going on that property. What does the landowner want? We can all look at a piece of property and say, this is what I would do. But if we're a consultant, we're an agency, we're helping a landowner, we need to know, what does that landowner want? And sometimes they don't know, and we have to talk through them to find that information. But you need to know what that end objective is to be able to understand how to write your plan. So what does a plan look like? Does it have to be a 50, 60-page federal burn plan? Maybe a 20, 30-page NGO plan? 10-page state plan? Or could it be a landowner who just grabs the weather and draws a map? They're all a burn plan, but let's look at what makes a good plan. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it's, to have a good one, there are a few things that you need. First off, again, we need a measurable objective. You've got to know what is the end result? What am I trying to achieve? Need a map. Firing operations for one-day burning block. The current day's weather, V-smoke or some other form of smoke modeling. So the objective is the thing aimed at or sought after. To me, I really preach this to our folks, that if you don't have a good objective, if you don't understand truly what you're wanting, you're not really going to write a good burn plan. You can't achieve it unless you understand them, and they must be measurable. To me, the objective, it sets the tone. It should be one of the first things that you do when you start your burn plan is to find that objective. And if I was to ask everybody to give me a definition of hazard reduction, I would get all kinds of things. Or if I, different ways ask things, you would get a whole bunch of answers. But when I say measurable, a measurable objective, if I start saying reduce the leaf litter by 50%, top kill 80%, remove this percent, now I start driving my burn plan. I start focusing the burn plan on meeting those objectives. Because without that objective, again, if I just say hazard reduction, if I remove, a 1/4 inch, I've reduced the hazard. But if my goal was to reduce 50%, that completely changes how I write that burn plan and what my goals are for the day, my firing method, or my weather. So having that measurable objective is very important. The map. When you do a map, if you're just out there by yourself, you probably know the property. But if you've got a crew out there, you've got other individuals out there, everybody needs to be on the same page. A good map usually has definition of fire lines defined, man-made barriers, wind directions, adjoining property hazards, reference points that if you're sharing this map, you're on the radio, you call somebody and say, hey, look, it's out over here on this side, or can you go over here and light down this drainage? Everybody knows what you're talking about. So a good burn plan has a good map. Those maps can be a soil map, a topo map, quality aerial photo, or hand drawn. Yeah, anything that you can use as a reference for, when you're talking to people, when you're doing your briefing, your in briefing that morning with your crew, and you're saying, this is where I want to start at. Let's do our test fire here. Let's back this line here. Let's strip from here. Use this road as a break. That map is important to have, because without that, then there may be some confusion. Firing operations. Firing operations, your burn plan should be a one-day burning block. What can I get done that day? So, how am I going to burn it to meet my objectives? Under the forecasted weather. Right in there that how you want to do it. I explained to our folks, write a burn plan as if somebody else was going to do it. So I know what the objectives are, and these are how I would like it to be burned. If you write the type of details in there, if somebody else was going to burn it, then, you're covering everything. So, put those details. How would you burn it under the weather forecast that you've got? These next couple of slides are off of the burn plan that you can get off the GFC website. And they also, these common ranges come out of the Introduction to Prescribed Fire in the Southern Ecosystem. You'll hear that book referenced several times. It's affectionately known as the Orange Book. And for us, these are common. That doesn't mean I can't burn outside of them, but it's common ranges. So a good burn plan has your desired range of weather to meet your forecast. And on our plan, we have red flags and we have watch outs. These are all, when you write your weather forecast in, your desired weather, these are things to look for. These are things to consider. Doesn't mean that if you don't meet these or one of these things are there that you can't burn. You just have to mitigate it. You have to explain, why are you going to burn outside of your normal? For our plan, we have that section in there. I've got my desired weather. That's my plan to meet the objectives. Then the day of the burn, I get a different weather. Okay, under those current weather, can I still meet the objectives? I'm not changing my desired. I'm now saying, okay, due to this humidity or due to rainfall, I'm changing this up to still meet my objectives. This is also your go or no go. If I cannot justify my burn, this is how I determine that I can't burn that day. Without a burn plan, you may look out there and go, yeah, I can do it. And you may mess up. But if I've got a burn plan and I'm saying, these are my objectives, this is the weather that I want to burn under. And then you get the weather forecast, it could be an issue with humidity, it could be winds, it could be rainfall, could be a smoke issue. Can I mitigate it that day? Write it in here, make a decision. Is it a go or no go? So how are you going to mitigate it? Contingency plans. What if something goes wrong? All of those are part of a good burn plan. So how do you know if a plan worked? The only way you're going to know if a plan worked is to do a post evaluation. Immediately after, a minimum a month or longer. Sometimes those results even take a year to see. But if you're not going back and reviewing your sites, you're not going to know if your plan worked. Having a burn plan helps you by the fact that you can go back when you do that review and you look at the site and you go, well, did it work? Did it not work? What do I need to change next time? If you're burning without a plan, the next time you burn 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, are you going to remember what you did? But if you have that record, you have that burn plan, you've done that post evaluation, you can see what happened. Did I meet my objectives? If I didn't meet my objectives, then what can I change next time? All right, so, you go out and do your post evaluation. Did you underachieve? What do I need to change next time? Did I overachieve? Did I have a plan and I just went out there and dropped fire on the ground? Or was my firing technique wrong? Was my weather wrong for the day? All of these things can be evaluated afterwards. Or did I meet my objectives? I look out there, a month afterwards, and I've got spring green up, and I look out there and I've top killed 80% of the hardwoods. Okay, was that my objectives? Did I meet? All right, well, I need to look at that is next time that I need to work around that same weather pattern. Again, having a good measurable objective, I can do a good post evaluation. It's very important that that plan is in place so that you can, do that post evaluation. You have a record, you know what you did, and then the fact that, when you can adjust for next time. It's very important. So, just to give we just updated our website, public website. It's a lot easier to find the prescribed burn information now. Just go in here, fire prevention, suppression, and then once you go here, prescribed burn, all kinds of references are available. The burn plan that I was referencing is available on there. There are multiple burn plans on the internet that you can find. Again, a burn plan does not have to be complicated. Some agencies require very details, they require a lot more information. But you as a company, you as an individual, you as a burner, don't have to go into that detail. Again, in the state of Georgia, you do not have to have a burn plan. But if you're a certified burner, one of the things that the very last thing that you're going to go through in the certified burn class is you're going to do a burn plan. And the reason why we have that in our course is the importance. If you're burning and you're a certified burner, and again, it's going to be referenced a little bit later, the legalities of it, and one of the reasons why you might want to do a burn plan, or should do a burn plan, I should say. If you're not, I highly recommend that you change what you're doing. Again, it may take some time to get into a pattern, get comfortable with writing them. If you've got any problems, you got any questions, that's what my job's here is to help our folks, but also help the public. And I can help you write a plan. I can help you look at the plan, see if there's some things that I would change or if you've got questions about it. But again, I highly recommend everybody do a plan. It does not have to be very complex. So with that, if there's any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them.
Thanks, Ken. Appreciate that. I know burn planning can be really daunting to people, so you broke it down into very, very simple terms and explained how important it is. We don't have any questions for you, which is awesome. You must have covered it really well. Here's the book that he recommended. It's downloadable from a link that you guys got, and it's also on the GFC website. You can find it there. Southern Fire Exchange is another awesome website. A lot of great information about writing burn plans and a lot of other things. So thanks again, Ken.